In this episode of reDefine, we talk with TWiT Photo host and photographer Catherine Hall in New York City as the city was seemingly shutting down around us. Catherine shares some outstanding tips and experiences, including a very personal one that really opened her eyes up to the impact of good photography. And listen in to the very end as she leaves us with possibly one of the best ever quotes from a guest on reDefine.
Special thanks to our sponsors Adorama, the photography people, and T1 Line, the voice and data solution experts.
Thank you so much for joining us for reDefine. Joining us today is TWiT Photo host and editorial and wedding photographer Catherine Hall. Tell me about TWiT Photo. You are the photo host and you're rocking it and you've got a ton of stuff going on.
Thank you.
Tell us about this.
Well, it's my most recent endeavor and it's hosted on TWiT Network. If you haven't seen Tamara's show, you've got to check it out. It's episode something, 20-something.
20-something. That's how you specifically find it.
A lot about children photography, and I actually went back and watched the whole thing myself and took notes. And then I went out and shot my sister's kids.
And how'd it go?
It went great because I had some tips under my belt.
When you say that when show came available or show came up, like how did that happen?
After my episode, they were building the new studio, so we were in the old studio at that time.
Right. And the new studio has been a big endeavor.
Yeah, huge endeavor. And so we went to see the new studio. Leo was showing me, and he was all excited about it. And he's like, you know, I really want you to be the host of this show. It's right. And then that's where it was born.
Right. And that's flattering. And obviously a shout out to your talent. And then how did you find the initial transition?
It was actually a lot more work than I ever thought it would have been. And I'm sure you went through.
Yes. But I'm interested in you telling me, what do you mean?
Because I really care about the show. I want it to have really valuable content. I want every minute that a viewer is watching to feel relevant, to feel like they're learning something. And I care a lot about the viewers and making sure that the subjects are relevant and that the content's relevant and figuring out, you know, what's the best format for communicating information.
What would you say has been the most difficult aspect outside of everything you've learned, but that's challenged you to doing this in addition to a thriving, successful studio?
I'd say that's it in itself. Is that balance. And you know, I'm definitely one to, when I do a project, when I do anything, and it's an assignment, it's the podcast, whatever it might be, I'm always giving it 120%. And so I think that, you know, the success of the show is so important to me, and I'm so passionate about it, and I see it as like my way of giving back to this industry that I love and I've thrived in for a while as a pro photographer.
Yeah.
So there's that balance, but then I also have my clients, and this year was a particularly hard year actually because I might get teary, but I lost my uncle to cancer. Sorry. So anyway, balancing all that stuff. Yeah, do you make people cry, Tamara?
That's a really big deal. I know how much it meant to you.
So yeah, I think the personal, the show, the clients, but the thing is that the thing that keeps me going is I love everything I'm doing, and I just take deep breaths and say it's gonna be okay. You know, it's like you said. I mean, you just got your camera stolen.
It just happened about an hour ago.
And what did you say? You're like, it's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
And you just say, oh, it's going to be great. And that's kind of my mantra with this whole thing is everything's going to be great. These are all amazing opportunities. Like things you experience loss in your life and you grow from that as well.
Yeah.
And in the end, I have amazing friends and families and coworkers, and it's all good in the end. So.
And did you find that like an experience that's obviously so affects you so strongly?
Yeah.
Does it also help you reframe a little bit more about like, what do I really want to do?
You know, it made me value photography a lot more because I didn't really have any great shots of my uncle, and I wasn't told he was sick until he was really far along. I wasn't given the opportunity to say, oh, like, let's get some beautiful shots to remember him by. So it does help me think about, you know, all of these things that you don't prioritize it when people are well.
Right.
You know? And so I never really prioritized it because he was young. I mean, he was like in his 40s, late 40s. And so to me it was just like, oh, there's always time, you know? And so I think, if anything, well, and we're in particular events, whether it's shooting families or weddings or all these situations where people are healthy, and it does give you this opportunity to capture people in a way that I wish I had of my uncle or whatnot.
Yeah.
So
tell us a little bit about your editorial work.
I started shooting when I was 16, and I was really interested in exploring the world with my camera.
Right.
And so I think I did what most photographers do. They know they love photography, but they don't know what type of photography they want to go into. And that can actually be a really frustrating thing, because you don't know your niche. Right. And you don't know your voice. And so I was shooting so many things, and I felt like I was doing them proficiently well, like they were, you know, it was okay. It's okay. But it wasn't, nothing really shined. I was actually experiencing less in life because of photography versus experiencing more. And that's why I love photographing people so much, and why I don't really have a specialty within that realm, is I just love people. And I'm fascinated by people. As photographers, the best thing you can do is just shoot, 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 shoot. Practice, 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 practice. Right. Because that's really the only way to find your voice, your footing, and your, like, what you can do special is getting out there, and it will find you, but if you're not out there, then it can't. Does that make sense? It does. And what's so significant is that moment where you've seen enough of your work in a row to say, oh my God, I totally have a style. Oh, I know. I love that. That's it, yeah. And some people, if you don't get enough out there, you don't know how to find that or see it or look for the connection. You can't create a style. It's not like I woke up one day and was like, you know what, I want my photography to be spontaneous and fun and energetic and have an energy to it. I never like sought to do that. It from the beginning with those words, yes. However, that's who I am as a person, and my photography, through practice, 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 and getting comfortable with my gear and allowing, you know, the technical to no longer be something I'm stumbling over. Right. My style just naturally emerged. So given the finding of your style, what are you most excited about in terms of your work right now, your photography work? I definitely am not a mass producer. Like, I don't go and shoot, like, I'm not a shotgun approach photographer. Right. Where I'm just putting out a lot. Like, if you look at my blog, there's a lot of content we post every day, but it's not just you have a very active blog. Yeah, I mean, that's another way, going back to like giving back to the industry. But it's a there's not a lot of photos in comparison to a lot of other photography blogs, and I do that on purpose. You know, I'm very selective in what I put out there, and I really am I'm definitely a perfectionist, and instead of fighting it, I work with it. That's good. But I just love creating art, and so, you know, I think right now, as far as what I'm excited about, it's really just continuing to grow. And the thing that's so great about photography is there's no end. And so improving my lighting, I'm printing all my own work. I have an Epson 7900, and printing your own work is incredibly exciting. With everything you have ahead of you, and you've got a very bright future right now. Thank you. You're welcome. I hope so. Clearly. What are 3 pieces of advice or information that you would pass along to anybody who wants to find themselves in a position that you're in right now? It's about 3 business anything tips? About business or the way one should proceed throughout a career to get to where they feel happier with the work they're doing. I would say the #1 tip is just being authentic. And so what I mean by that is, whether it's in your business or whether it's in your art, your creation of photographs, like, at the end of the day, the more authentic you can be, and what I mean by authentic, it's not just about being yourself. It's about letting go of your fears that might be inhibiting you from being yourself. #2, we talked about practice, 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 practice. And then when you're done practicing, I would highly recommend practicing. And to top it off with a nice piece of practice. Yes. That would be my next thing. And then I think the other thing, the final, would be the people that you surround yourself with, and being really selective in the team that you build. You obviously have an amazing team working with you here today. Yeah, you guys are awesome. And so really, the people that are in your studio, the colleagues that you're with, your friends. You can't choose your family, but you can choose how much time you spend with your family. And full quote, you can't choose your family, but you can choose how much time
You can choose how much time you spend with your family. I've never heard that before.
I just made that up on the fly.
I love it.
In this chair.
I love it.
No, but what it comes down to is...
That's very good.
You really, I mean, if you want great things in your life, you really need to surround yourself by people that are positive and that are, you know, there's the people that elevate you and there's people that hold you back.
I would like to personally thank you for sticking with us during this incredibly interesting interview where the lights are coming up and down and we've got all this background noise and New York is calling you to go out and get a drink, of which we will also join you. Thank you very much.
I'm so honored to be a part of this program.
Thank you very much.
And you're doing amazing, amazing work. It's a big honor to be here.
Ditto. Thanks, Catherine. Until next time, give your arms a rest with a dot line hands-free camera mount. Tired of your on-the-go shooting completely killing your biceps? Put your camera on the video stabilizer, pop it over your shoulder, and feel the blessed freedom of quick shooting movement without the strain. And ladies, this shoulder mount works for you too. Try it and you will understand. You can buy the dot line hands-free stabilizer at adorama.com.